Okay guys, today we're going to start finding area of a triangle. And you might be thinking, okay then Miss Middleton, why do you have a rectangle drawn on this page? Because I want you to understand the origin or where this formula came from. So here is the formula to find the area of a triangle. So this is the triangle area formula. We're just going to ignore that. And so we know that when we did a rectangle, the area formula was length times width, or I told you it could be called base times height. So if a rectangle is base times height, then why is a triangle 1/2 base times height? For this very reason that I'm going to show you. If I draw a diagonal line, I want you to look and see what I form. Half of a rectangle is a triangle. So then it makes sense that half, if the formula for a rectangle is area equals base times height, then for this triangle it would be half of it. So that is why that's the origin and why it has that 1/2. That 1/2 is what we call a constant. It is always part of the formula. The base can change depending on the shape. The height can change depending on the shape. But that 1/2 is a constant. Now, there are 3 different types of triangles. The first type is an acute triangle. It's got 3 little cute angles right there. They're so cute. They're acute angles. That means they're less than 90 degrees. A 90-degree angle makes a perfect L. Whoops, that didn't do it, did it? Yeah. That is a 90-degree angle. A lot of times you'll see that little marking in it showing that that's a 90-degree angle. That's also called a right angle. So all of the angles in this triangle are less than that. They're smaller than that. They're like this. Smaller. That is an acute angle. So that's why this is an acute triangle. Okay, let me get rid of all this. Now, how do I find the area? Well, the formula was area equals 1/2, it's always there, base times height. Now, this is my base. The base of a figure is like your feet. It's what holds you up. When you stand up, your feet is what's holding you up. So that's sort of like the feet of this shape is the base. But this right here cannot be the height, nor can this be the height. Because think about it. When someone says, okay, let's see how tall you are you going to slouch over or are you going to stand straight up and down? You're going to stand straight up and down because you want to be as tall as you can be. So the height will have to be drawn in from the top straight line down to the bottom. That's called a perpendicular line because when these two intersect, they form a right angle. So this is my height. So let's say I told you that this was 8 inches and this was 9 inches and this was 7 inches. Area, I don't know. That 1/2 is a constant. It is always there. My base is 8 inches. I don't need this. This is TMI. So this is my height, 7 inches. Now, you can solve this many ways. You can go from left to right like order of operations tells you to. You can say, okay, what's 1/2 of 8 times 7, which is 56. You can do it that way. or you can go from left to right. And you say half of 8 is 4 inches times 7 inches. What we did was order of operations and did that. So area would be 28 inches times inches is inches squared. So this would be my area. This is an obtuse triangle because you can see it's got a really big angle. That means it's greater than 90 degrees or greater than a right angle. So again, this would be my base. But this cannot be my height because it's slouchy. This cannot be my height because it's slouchy. So what they do is they draw a height outside of it, and then they usually have like little dashy lines like that connecting. So this part right here would be my height. So if I told you this was 10 meters and this was 8 meters, so area equals 1/2 times base times height. I mean, I'm going to change something here. I'm going to make this 13 meters. There's a purpose. So area equals 1/2 times my base is 13 meters times my height is 8 meters. Now, half of 13 is not fun to do because it's an odd number. But is half of 8 easy to do? Yeah. So can I skip around like that? Yes, I can, because all this is multiplication, and multiplication has that commutative property. So I'm going to take half of 8, and that will give me 4 meters, and then times that by 13. And that would be 52 meters times meters is meters squared. So that would be my answer. The third type of triangle is a right triangle. And it is the only triangle, sort of like that perfect rectangle, perfect square, that the base and the height are actually part or sides of the triangle. Because see, this can be my height because it's straight up and down. It's perpendicular. It forms a 90-degree angle. So 1/2 area equals 1/2 times base times height. So if I said this was 14 yards, and this was 20 yards, and this was 15 yards, I'll try to trick you like that. Area is 1/2, that's my constant. My base is 14 yards. My height is not this, it is the straight up and down 20 yards. So area, half of 14 I can do easily. Half of 14 is 7 yards times 20 yards. 7 times 20 is 140, and yards times yards makes yards squared. So that is my answer.